Hi everybody, how are we all doing? Hope having a good weekend so far. Today is Saturday the 15th of February 2014 and we are back with chapter 9 of 12 of Smallville Alien. Incidentally, the chapter was actually released earlier this week in the print edition right here, number 3 of Alien. So this has 7, 8 and 9. So it's quite interesting that we got it earlier in print than we did in digital, as normally it's the other way around. So if you're lucky enough to read it earlier this week, then well done to you. I however decided to wait for the digital release, even though I've got the print version. But so anyway, let's just kick it off. We're back in Gotham with Batman investigating the killing of this particular Clark Kent that they encountered at the beginning of, you know, the actual story itself. He's there with Commissioner Gordon, scanning the body, looking for any DNA information of the killer, and he does find the information, but doesn't want to share it with Commissioner Gordon. We have no idea who it is, at least not yet. We've got the trilogy, as I would like to, or the Trinity as I've now come to call them, of Chloe, Lois and Barbara Gordon, all talking to each other, just basically about raising a child, that Gotham is not the best place, and Lois is asking where, Metropolis, Star City, you know, it's just, yeah, so they're having a little discussion about where to raise children and such. Then Batman comes in and is telling Nightwing that he's going dark. You know, Lois and Chloe are both saying that they don't like the sound of that, but by the time they finish discussing what that means, Nightwing is already off on her bike to go and meet Batman, and the location that he arrives at is none other than Amusement Mile. Now there's a little tease for you there. If you know about Amusement Mile, you know which character I'm referring to there. When Barbara catches up with Bruce, you know, she starts saying how, you know, look, I'm not going to leave you all by yourself to track down whoever it is you're trying to hunt. When it turns out that it's not actually Batman's actually the one being hunted by this particular villain, and well, when we eventually find out who this villain is, it's just, yeah, it's tell you what, tasty is all I'm going to describe it as. Absolutely tasty. So yeah, what's even more interesting is the outfit that this villain is wearing. It's very interesting. It's very, oh dear. All I'm going to say is, it's like, just think of Bizarro Superman. That's all I'm going to say right there. Back in Chernobyl, or beneath Chernobyl, inside the spaceship, we've got Clark and Lex facing off against the Monitor, who's telling them about how you know, how the other Earths are all, you know, how they were going to obliterate the other Earths and such in a certain order. You know, he even talks about Earths number 9 and 37, mentions Earth 13 as well, and you know, it's just very interesting how they're both running away from him, and you know, he's just casually telling them a story, explaining how things are supposed to be, about how the Monitors and how it's their job to literally, you know, destroy all these other Earths. I think there's some sort of balance that they need to keep with the universe and the multiverse as such. And you know, even when Chloe of Earth 2 was killed, about how one of their, you know, the Monitor's colleagues, you know, had to kill Chloe. Well, say kill, you know, murder as such. You know, then Clark realizes why, from what the Monitors explained to both him and Lex, you know, why Chloe Sullivan of Earth 2 was murdered, because she obviously found out of what their plan was. And there's a bit here where he says, and of course you presume your Earth is Prime, typical. Whether or not that's a nod towards Earth Prime itself, if you know of Earth Prime, you know that it was the Earth that was destroyed in Crisis on Infinite Earths way back in 85 or 86, I believe it was, and the only hero to emerge from that was a character known as Superboy Prime. Not going to say too much about him, but let's just say later on he becomes so ruthless and so murderous, he becomes an unstoppable killing machine. That's all I'm going to say on here, on his part. And if you read Crisis on Infinite Earths and then Infinite Crisis, you'll find out why Superboy Prime became the destructive killer that he turned out to be. But also then after that, read Legion of Three Worlds, which was part of the Final Crisis storyline from 2010, I believe. You've got to read Legion of Three Worlds to really understand what then happens to Superboy Prime. It's very, very interesting. So anyway, as I say, so Lex is surprised that Clark knows of who was in Queen's ship, Oliver Queen's ship that arrived back in Guardian, in the rift that appeared. You know, and Clark's just saying that I just do my homework just like you, and the ship is under how should we put it? The ship is about to lift off, but before it lifts off, Clark and Lex decide to escape from the ship, and as the ship takes off, Clark has to quick think and uses the ship's engines to basically propel him and Lex out of the hole that they're in. And when they emerge, Lex is like, "Oh, how did we?" And Clark is like, "Do you have any good grasp of physics?" And Lex is like, "No, not at all." Then just consider ourselves lucky. That's all he's gonna say on that. So, and then there's even a point of where Lex actually says he wishes how Superman was actually there to, you know, save them as such. So he in some ways wishes that Superman was there. What happens next? This is where it ends. Is very interesting. Clark gets hit by the monitor. Goes underwater. Lex goes after him, and then what we then see is, whilst Lex doesn't see this, but he's so close to knowing or seeing this occurring, Clark's glasses are out and his chest has been opened to reveal his S. So yeah, and it says to be continued. That's where it leaves. So will Lex find out? Will he not? I don't think he will find out. I reckon something's going to intervene. And then Clark's going to suddenly wake up and realise, oh shit, yeah, this is not good for me. I need to get out of here very quickly. So he's knocked out, he's unconscious. Lex is about to save him. It could be good, it could be bad, but we'll never know until next week. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I think we'll be back with next week. If not, I think Chaos, is it Lantern? One of the side stories, I think it's Chaos actually, is due to start. One of the side stories is due to start, I think, hopefully next week. I'm not sure. Sometimes these things go out of place. It's very difficult. So please, Mr. Miller, can you confirm what's next, if you don't mind? But anyway, there we go. That's a good story right there. Good chapter. So I'm looking forward to see what happens next in the final 3 chapters of Alien. So that'll be good. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. See you all very soon. Bye.